Greetings, this is Jim Boyd from the Small Business Development Center at WIU. I'm the director of the Illinois Small Business Development Center at Western Illinois University. This is the first of what we hope will be many podcasts dealing with the Illinois Small Business Development Center, WIU, and local and regional businesses and the business climate in general. We hope you find this informative and somewhat entertaining. A little later, we'll talk with Noah Postin, a graduate assistant with the SBDC. First, a little about the SBDC here on campus at WIU. WIU has hosted a center for 30 years here in Macomb with the mission to assist small business owners with free business advising in all aspects of business. Most people think of a small business as your local mom and pop store on Main Street or around the square. While generally this is the majority of our work, a small business, as classified by the Small Business Administration, could be an enterprise that has a maximum of 250 to 1,500 employees. SBA sets the maximum employees and revenues by industry. Some examples might be agriculture has a maximum of $750,000 in receipts. Utilities range from a maximum of 250 employees to 1,000 employees, depending on the subsector, and manufacturing range from a maximum of 500 to 1,000 employees. Retail trade average $7.5 million in revenue. These are just some of the examples that we work with according to SBA standards. We provide professional guidance for business growth to 22 counties in the West Central and Northwest Illinois from our offices in Macomb and Moline. So with that bit of background, we launch into our first podcast. So today we have with us Noah Postin, graduate assistant with the SBDC. He's also the person that owns all of the equipment and knows how to use it, so he gets to be first. So Noah, tell me a little about yourself and how you came to WIU and the SBDC.
Oh, a little bit about myself, Jim. Well, at the beginning it starts with I was at Monmouth College. I was a senior, and I was running a nonprofit organization with my friend. And we were actually pushed to do the 6-county fast pitch, which you were actually on the board of. And when I was transitioning my nonprofit all the way to a for-profit, we met you along the way, and you are a business consultant from the SBDC. After we competed in the at the 6-county fast pitch, you said you liked the way I worked and offered me a job at WIU and would pay for my master's degree. So I joined the SBDC after running the nonprofit. I kind of put that to the side, and then I always knew my love and my career would be business in general. I mean, it's a great foundation to have. Just working at the SBDC, it's something new every single day. So a little bit of background about myself is I love economics and I love business, but I love drumming too. So just a little bit about myself.
Talk a little bit, you mentioned the 6-county fast pitch. Talk a little bit about that and what it meant and what you had to do to actually compete in that.
I always say that the 6-county fast pitch was probably my jolt of loving business and business consulting, because I kind of saw, after I did the presentation, it was you got up and kind of told me everything that I needed to know, and it was a kind of a wake-up moment to where I thought, wow, there's a lot of things I don't know, and I thought that was a good part of the 6-county fast pitch, and that's what really made me think it was a great decision to do in the first place. So with the 6-county fast pitch, it's essentially like a Shark Tank. You have a business idea, or you're already in business, and what it is, it's you just pitch to 5 or so judges about your business idea, and then it's an elevator speech. So it has to be quick, to the point, the very, very informative but important information. So I went through that. It was it was one practice session and then the actual final presentation. We presented to a bunch of economic developers, some DCO, and some bank members. Unfortunately lost the competition, but it was a great learning experience. Got to learn a lot about business and honestly myself too.
So even though you didn't win, you thought maybe the advice was good, so you came to work for the SBDC.
Yes, exactly. That's it.
So from a personal standpoint, then tell me how you had to balance graduate school, SBDC, and your drumming career.
That's a good question. That's a question I really haven't been asked that before. Let me think. How do I balance? I think it's just a love of all three. I wasn't really a good student in undergrad. I always thought there was more and I could be doing other things. And now is kind of the time where I realize that these are the things that I want to be doing. And I'm lucky enough that at WIU they're very lenient on what I can do and flexible. So I can balance it all very well with you at the SBDC. You're a great manager. Your hands-off management style that allows me to do. If I have other things I need to do, I can do that. Or if I have SBDC, it's almost like it's a full-time job, but it's not, and I have the flexibility of being a salaried worker, so I like that. It's just the love of both. It's a constant, with the SBDC, it's working with something new every day. I love learning stuff about new businesses and being able to help businesses in the future. So I enjoy that aspect, and drumming is always interesting, so I love doing that. And graduate school, it actually fits with my degree, which is community and economic development. I think business consulting really mixes well with that, so it's learning about my trade while doing my trade. It's really beneficial to me, what I think.
So from inside information, when you first started, you were actually in the graduate program for economics, and you changed to the graduate program for the community development. So tell us a little bit about why you made that change.
So business and economics is probably my two main loves of information. I constantly check the news for economics, macroeconomics, or microeconomic level. I just love economics as on a whole level. And when I got into economics, I thought it was going to be more learning about quantitative easing and actual economic development and certain macroeconomic theories. But when I did the economics here, it was more statistic based and doing regressions and in Excel and certain other data mining software, and that's just not what I really want to do. I don't want to sit at a desk, and not saying that's what you're going to do, but sit at a desk and just punch numbers all day. I like something that's almost seems boring to me. So I saw a chance to use the skills that I've developed at the SBDC and in my undergrad of business and economics, to use that with my economic development degree, the master's program. So I think that's where it really came from, my love for business, and to be able to utilize my love for business and economics and the skill I've acquired from you at the SBDC to do the economic development. I think that fits way more than just punching numbers and statistic based. I still have the ability to do both. I can still punch numbers, and I'm good with numbers too, but I prefer to work with something new every day, and to not really just something new every day. That's kind of the biggest thing with changing over.
Good. As you can tell from what he said, he's well paid, because he's plugging myself as a manager in the SBDC about every fourth or fifth sentence. So we do get along well. I would like for him to tell you about experience that he had this summer that he was able to leverage through a contact with the SBDC.
Yes. My experience this summer, it was fantastic. But once again, it starts at the SBDC. I was working with a client, and he wanted to do product development, and we had no clue on the guy who we were doing the reference checks on to see if he was legit or not. It was just from China. He was located in China and Thailand. We're like, this doesn't seem right. So I did some research, and it was real. The guy was real, so we told the client to go ahead and work with him. Then I kept looking up online what this guy actually did. He worked with clients like Disney and Rust-Oleum, and just an interesting job that this guy did, working with constantly making new products, from as seen on television to kitchenware to, I mean, it was insane, the vast range of what he produced. So I thought, hey, I'm gonna email this guy and say, just let him know what I do. I do business consulting, and I'd love to kind of I'm interested in international trade, economics again. So I'd like to see what you do, and if there's any chance you can tell me what you do. I wasn't expecting to go there, but the guy emailed me back and said, actually, we're not looking for anybody for an internship, but I'm kind of feeling friendly today, so would you like to come to China? And so I said yes. You can't turn down an offer like that, getting paid to go to China for free. So I went to China. I lived in a town, well, not a town, a city of 12.5 million people for 3 months. I did product development. I worked all the way from, my clients were from Europe. One was a subscription box. Another one was actually India's largest distributor of adult products. I mean, I worked a lot. There's a lot. I produced some kitchenware products and some glassware, some hydro flasks. I mean, it was a really great experience, and it all started at the SBDC. So that's what I did.
So now that we've got him through the summer, came back to work at the SBDC and finish his master's degree. And my understanding is you will actually graduate in the fall, but you have one more class to take in the spring. Is that right?
Yes. Unfortunately, the way WIU is at the moment, they changed the scheduling a little bit, so I have a class that I need to finish in springtime, even though I'll have the core classes finished by December. So I technically will be graduated in spring, but I mean I'll be done in December. But after December, I actually just accepted a position for the Knox County Area Partnership, which is an economic development organization located in Galesburg, but it covers the Knox County area, and I'm the client manager. I will be business consulting, basically using the skills I've acquired at the SBDC and covering that area to help economic development in Knox County. So I'm really looking forward to that position and working under Ken Springer. Once again, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm working part-time right now, a few times a week, and already seeing some interesting projects along the line that I'm going to be working with. So I think it's going to be successful and a great career move too.
So with that, how do you see your future going forward? Not in the next year, not maybe in the next 3 or the next 5, but your goals and your personal aspirations, naturally starting with the SBDC and then moving to the Knox County Partnership and the community development in general.
Well, like what you always say, that I like the SBDC and the business consulting aspect of my jobs because it's running a business without the actual risk that I'm putting myself towards. So when I see myself in the future, it's definitely an entrepreneur. I want to run my own business and I want to be my own boss. But that's down the line that I think I need to learn a lot more things until I can get to that point, because I really want to be sure when I launch my business. So I say at the very end, when I know I'm not saying I made it, but I reached my goal, is to run my own business. I have no clue what it's going to be. It could be all the way from Nigerian food with grace, or it can be a subscription box. It can be, I don't know, new innovative drone. You never know. And I'm still working with my clients in China and doing product development with my previous boss. So I mean, the sky's the limit. I think I'm a little ADD on things. I'm constantly looking at new industries and changing my mind. Last year I wanted to work for the FBI in the financial unit, and now I'm a business consultant. Now I'm economic development, and I want to do international trade consulting. And I don't even know if I could tell you, Jim. Sky's the limit for what I'm really looking for, and I'll tell you when I get there.
That sounds like a lot of entrepreneurs, that we all have these big dreams. We're not exactly sure how to get there, but we know when we get there. So as we end this first podcast, hopefully the first of many, a few announcements. As we move forward, we will be hosting workshops on GATA. And GATA is the Grant Accountability and Transparency Act, and we'll actually have workshops on the pre-award process. So if you're listening to this and you are looking for a grant from the state of Illinois or the federal government, you must complete and go through this pre-award process, and we'll be holding workshops on how to do that. Part of this process also leads into your ability to work with the federal government on federal contracts. So we'll have all that. There will be announcements, and there will be emails sent out to possible clients and people that might be interested in this. Once a month, we're always holding Starting a Business in Illinois workshops around our 22 counties. And we are available by appointment for free business advising at your location or at the SBDC. Come back next month around this same time, where I'll try to have Dr. Chris Merritt, my boss, talk to us a little bit about the Illinois Institute for Rural Affairs and what they do for the state of Illinois. I want to thank you for listening, and we'll see you later.